deal with airplane peanuts.
Oh, wow. Wow. I didn't have any entanglements. Will Smith practices selective outrage.
That's right.
I could never do what Chris Rock did with the live shit. I would be fucking dead in the water.
The live one's an interesting choice because Louis did a similar thing. Louis did it live on his website, and then he's going to release a full edited version of the set. And then I guess that's exactly what Chris is doing. He released it in the full edited. The shit about Will Smith was ruthless.
Yeah.
Ruthless. It's just like, imagine in life, you play chess. You move pieces around. You say, I do this, and the counter would be that. And, imagine the thought, I'm just going to slap Chris Rock, one of the greatest stand-up comedians of all time. It's not like he's going to tear my very vulnerable life apart with some of the best comedy that anybody's ever written, and he's going to hone it over a year before he releases it.
Yeah.
What a terrible, unprovoked attack. What a dumb thing to do. To be that person who's publicly loved, like Will Smith was until that moment. I mean, until that moment, nobody really had a bad thing to say about, maybe he didn't like one movie, or maybe he thought the superhero movie was dumb, but everybody loved that guy.
I love the superhero.
Everybody loved that guy.
I loved Will. I love Will. I still love Will.
A year later, you can't tell somebody when is the right time to clap back. It's unfair.
Yeah. I mean, you've been on tour with him.
Yeah.
A lot of people thought that he seemed very upset and angry still over the slap.
Okay, people, can we be honest right now?
Yeah.
A lot of people think he was upset. He was furious.
Yeah.
That could have ended so many different ways. And I'm gonna tell you who was more upset than Chris, his family. He had people in his family want to retaliate against Will Smith. Will Smith, when he did that, he put his family at risk. He put his family at risk. He put his kids at risk. So if you can't take a joke, if somebody can take a smack, you can take a joke.
I loved it live. You'd see it at the cellar, and he wasn't selling it so much.
Not at all.
The water bottle. Look at this bottle of water.
It was kind of making me laugh. That stuff.
I was like, all right, we got it, man. And I don't want to shit on another comic, but he's one of the greats. But seeing it live at the cellar, it was a little more toned down. It was just about the material, and I liked it more.
Well, I think also with someone like Chris Rock, there's a bit of the Jerry Seinfeld thing where it's like when you're so iconic, your cadence becomes like a joke a little bit.
Right.
When Seinfeld says what's the deal?
Yeah.
It feels like funny almost, you know?
Sure.
So when Chris Rock, there was a few times where he was like, the girl, I don't know, whatever he was saying, a girl's pussy changes the world. Her world.
Yeah,
the way he was saying
I didn't like when he was calling him
so
a bitch.
funny.
He goes, bitch. And
Yeah,
he's
that
saying
was a
it
little,
so he's like,
easy.
he's a bitch.
Yeah.
He kept saying it, and every time he kept be like, is a bitch.
This ain't Will Smith.
Yeah, and he kept calling him a bitch, and it was every time it was a little angrier.
Yeah, that was
It
rough.
sucked though that he flubbed that joke at the end.
Oh,
that was
my
the
God.
worst. I go, oh, and he probably did that 20 times leading up to it and didn't.
I know.
He probably did that perfectly so many times, and then
That
right
stressed
there.
me out to
And then
watch.
I know,
Yeah.
and then I honestly was watching, and I go, wait, what just happened?
That's
For a
why
second, I was confused.
The live thing is
And
a
then
horrible idea.
I was thinking, I'm like, is he going to try to do it again?
Yeah, that's it.
And he did.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
I know.
Well, I guess I heard they're gonna what? They're gonna cut it up, and
That's what I thought.
I heard that too. Yeah.
That's what I was kind of thinking. I was like,
but
I bet
it's
this
still
gets
up
re-uploaded.
as this.
But how great would it be Will Smith? Oh, you got me, except for that flub. You can just zing him.
To go live in front of millions of motherfuckers at Netflix, which is a giant.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
You're going, oh fuck! It's a new nervousness.
Yeah.
He's been doing this shit for 30-some, maybe 40 years. It's a new nervousness.
And he's a technician.
He's a technician.
So he's not like a free form kind of.
No, and I've seen him work shit over and over. And he records 2 or 3 times and gets the best out of that.
Yeah, and that's what most people do. Most people, when they film
and there's
specials,
nothing wrong with he tried the live one. Hey man, you got the power to do that shit. So next minute he might do it from a helicopter. I don't fucking know. He'd be like, "Ding, ding, 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 ding. What's up, y'all?" But I think it would have been a little bit different, stronger if he recorded it. But
I think so too.
We got what we got. And people are discussing it because everybody wants to know. Talk about that motherfucking slap. Because I know he started to talk about it on some of his live show with Chappelle. Yeah. He was bringing it up. here and there because everyone's like, "What about this slap? He's gonna say something."
Yeah, it's so hard.
That's hard.
It's so hard to build a stand-up special when you know everyone in the room wants
But it's hard to bring
talk
up
about the same
because you just
thing.
got slapped.
Yeah.
How the fuck do you talk about that shit? That's tough. You got smacked in front of everybody around the world, and Will Smith smacked you, which was so fucking wrong of Will. I'm sorry. And I think Chris Rock has every right to be mad for as long as he fucking wants to.
He does. Will is embarrassed and hurt by what Chris said about him and his family and his Netflix special. He didn't watch it, but he had people tell him what Chris said. It's everywhere when you look online and on social media. So Will and Jada have seen comments about it.
It's so ridiculous. You just can't say anything. Like, if you're Will Smith, you got to just take this one. I mean, like, what do you like? It's the same way I'm saying Chris Rock can't really call him a bitch because he got bitched out. It's like Will Smith can't really be like, yeah, man, that's too far, dude. You went over the line.
This
This is gonna be all.
It sounds
gonna
so
be all
dumb.
over the place now, dude. Everyone's gonna see it. Like,
to be like, I'm hurt and embarrassed by what you said. Like,
hey, he goes, hey, that joke was a real slap in the face.
To your point about live, I would never do a live stand-up.
Yeah, I guess my feeling with the live stand-up thing is that, like, it doesn't. I understand creating a gimmick for someone to watch your special. I think that makes sense. That's marketing and that's smart. If he didn't have the Will Smith thing, do it live. Because now you have a gimmick. People go, well, I just want to see what could happen if he does it live, right?
No, I don't like live stand-up.
Well, just take this in. But he already had a hook. The most powerful hook in stand-up history. Everybody wants to see what it. So don't add more pressure on the moment.
Yeah.
Just record 4 shows to use the best show, cut them together, do whatever you want. Do it. Nobody's watching it to see if you're going to get the words right or not. We want to watch you deliver your best performance.
They censored the Chris Rock special, which I thought was really. Did you see this?
I did not. I saw clips of it. They censored it.
Well, apparently they pulled out the Will Smith thing or something.
Wait, what? No.
That's the only reason why anybody
watched it. I know. Isn't that true though? Didn't they do this? It said
I don't know
something.
if they said.
Is that
I
wrong?
saw it, like clips of it from Netflix that
Me
was
too.
like posted, but maybe
I just read an article that said something this morning. That said that they're going to remove it, maybe, or something. I could be wrong.
I highly doubt that.
No, but I think it would Chris, not Netflix. Let me see. Let's see. You just have to cut this out.
I doubt that.
Chris Rock removes Will Smith joke from special.
Oh, wow.
Can they do that after the fact on Netflix? I mean,
Sure, they can do whatever they want on Netflix, but
Chris Rock's fumbled Will Smith joke removed from Netflix special. It's every article I can. Chris Rock's Netflix show, the Will Smith joke will be removed. LA Times, all this.
Fumbled Will Smith joke.
Probably didn't hit as well
If you
as
watch
he
the
liked.
original, he does stumble. He fucks up the joke. If you watch the original, I don't know what he said. Concussion. When he gets to the word concussion, he like tells a piece of it incorrectly, and he talks about saying it wrong. He's like, I fucked that up. But then he continues on.
But it's only one little
sliver.
line.
It's
one
a little
tag.
sliver. Yeah, it's a little tiny sliver of a thing that.
Okay, so because they're not pulling out the.
No. But they're removing the piece, which is strange because it's like, why'd you put it in the first place? You had Final Cut. I watched mine 1,000 times.
Yeah.
I watched it so many times. You hate every single second. You hate the way your stupid face looks. You know, you're like, look at my teeth. You know, like you start to like pick yourself to shreds. You're like, way to go, you fat dad. Like everything looks sad when you keep watching it. So there's no way he didn't see that 100 times and think about it, which is weird that he put it out because it's like.
Well, it was live.
I got to watch Chris Rock's new special. He did it live, and I heard nothing but rave reviews from every comic that I love. So I got to check that out. It's on Netflix now, streaming now. He did it live, which I think is fucking the balls that takes. And then also, you know what's amazing about that? No editing. It's over. You do it. It's done. There you go. You don't have to do that awful thing where hey, now we're going to sit down and watch an hour and 10 minutes of you. No, I'm sure you're making good decisions. No, you should look at it. No. We're very no, it's good. It's good. You should sit down. I don't want to watch it. No, but you have to. You have to sit down and you have to watch this fucking thing. Anyways, and it's always great for stand-up when one of the greatest of all time comes out and puts a fucking giant special out there that everybody fucking loves. That's good for everybody. It's good for everybody.
You opened in Baltimore. You were there that night.
I was there during his live show on Saturday night. Yeah.
And I'm proud of you, buddy. I saw you on TMZ. I agreed with everything you said. And I was I'm angry and concerned about comedy today because of, listen, he was brilliant. I think he did, I agree with you, everything that he needed to do. But are you surprised by even a little bit of blowback he's getting?
No, because I've been around long enough and seen comics rise in their profile where they go beyond the comedy conversation into the cultural conversation. And anybody who's doing really well, people will latch their cause onto it.
But don't you think that happens more now than it ever did in our...
It seems like it. I mean, maybe I just didn't know big comics 30 years ago, but now I'm like, oh, okay, if you're getting killed on social media, or it's probably because you're killing it, you're crushing it. But
Chris was like at the epicenter of that. I believe that what happened to Chris with Will is the reason that guy made it okay for himself to jump on stage to Chappelle at the Hollywood Bowl.
I don't know what happened to Will. It looked like he was enjoying the joke. Right? When he cracked the joke, Will was laughing, that phony ass laugh. And then Jada rolled her eyes and her head like, you nigga. And he went, yeah, that shit ain't funny.
The thing that overwhelms me is, as somebody who just shot a 1 hour stand-up special with probably 2% of the budget that Chris Rock spent, I was overwhelmed by the production value. All the pre-show stuff, the staging, the backstage, the lighting, the amount of cameras, even his outfit. Like, everything was just so fucking first rate. It was almost intimidating. It was like, all right, just do the fucking comedy. But, I think, the criticism some people have of Chris Rock is that he does that preacher thing where he keeps teeing up the premise over and over again like a chorus. I don't mind that because it's his rhythm. There's something very awkward about Chris Rock that I find endearing. There's something very genuine about how awkward he is. He's not Chappelle. He's not a natural, smooth comedian. He's sort of just like a guy who's finding his way, like me in that last sentence. And but I think there was a lot of strong stuff. I thought the stuff about Will Smith was ballsy as shit.
Yep.
But I thought it was really strong.
Yeah, he has a consistent rhythm, and that rhythm is awkward. That rhythm is sometimes, or most of the time, not smooth, but then, a lot of the times it's like that little footwork when you're going up to kick the ball, but he lands that punchline,
Exactly.
So he has that rhythm, and he knows where he's landing it, you know what I mean? And that's flawless when he lands it.
And I've noticed his audience is getting blacker. Or they're choosing to shoot more black members of the audience. He used to be a real crossover comic, and most of his audience was white.
It's crazy as a comedian who's done this for like a while now, when you realize that all the best comedians are over 50. And you're like, oh, you can just keep getting better if you work at it.
Yeah.
And I think it's his best set in 20 years.
Yes.
Of all the stuff that I think it's his best set in 20. He was on fire.
Yeah. And for like an hour 40 on fire. I mean, he kept it up, the pace. I was like,
his
geez.
energy was crazy. There was so many great takes, so many high level bits. And he would, he was just for me, exactly what I want to see. Just statement, provocative. You're like, where's this going to go? And then just loaded with jokes. His take on the slap was fucking so good and so much better than I would have said or imagined. It's so much. You could tell he took his time with it because it's so thoughtful. It's like a thoughtful, hilarious, and he dresses him down in a way that you're like.
Mm-hmm.